mean, my view on what Alan had gone over is what he had said a few minutes ago was that it's an ongoing process. They got it in the budget, they can spend it, he's monitoring it, and it's really on his back and Linda's back to go ahead and watch this close enough that if things do turn even further south than that some of the stuff that's in the budget doesn't get spent. And if next year comes around and, as you're talking about, we've pared back a lot on the revenue and it doesn't come back, the economy doesn't rebound and that, and yeah, the next year's MFT projects and all those things that we have had in mind for the last 5 years, that the next one coming in next year, it's K3 all that's out. I mean, that's the realistic part of it. From listening to him and talking with him is that if it doesn't come back, this is still on an optimistic view that things will go ahead and turn around. You have the money, put it in the budget. If you can't spend it later on, you go ahead and terminate that. But next year, if things wouldn't come back, it will be 10 times uglier than what it is now. And projects will get cut, services, maybe labor, and it will go that ugly. But that's how it would have to be dealt with over that time when you're talking about the fleet, because absolutely right. You can't take it out. This is your last optimistic view. We're still trying to function somewhat normally, and leaving it in there allows you to function normally, because if you cut it out, you lose those matching funds, and that's things that we all want to kind of keep those projects, and that's why I hear what he done and just had believed that what they've got is a good form of a budget to go forward with. And yeah, you don't like depleting that, and at the same time I think that putting it in there is at least giving the opportunity to give the next 2 or 3 months to play out and let them make a decision as to if it's not coming back or it is, and we'll continue on.
I would just comment that, in some respects, I guess I look at it on the flip side too, is there were a lot of projects that were in for years and years that were carried over, and we have staff members, we have city engineer, we have personnel now that if those projects are in there and they're told to mean business with their budgets, these projects are getting done. And there were years and years that we had a lot of projects in there, but they constantly got pushed to the next year. And again, it's capital development. This is why we have this. This is why it's set up. These are lasting projects to improve for the city. So projects are getting done with the staff and assistants we have now. They are getting done, and I look at that as a positive aspect.
Al, Linda, are you guys happy with this budget? Linda, you sounded a little bit concerned about some of this. I mean, what? You're the experts here. What, is it a good balance? Should there be more cut? You sounded like, okay, we could maybe be able to rob some of that this year, but next year we won't be able to. Should we do that or shouldn't we?
Well, I think you definitely have to be careful. And like Al said, we're going to go back through and see if there's some things that we can cut further. And I don't think that you can't do this kind of a transfer next year. This is the last year that you can do a transfer out of capital development that is this large.
The only thing I'm concerned about, last year, Al, you said pretty much the same thing you're saying this year. You see it turning around and getting better. Actually, this year has been worse than last year. So I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I don't see next year being much better.
Well, I guess a couple of things. Certainly it didn't pan out as good, but part of what's creating difficulties is the state of Illinois just has stopped paying any bills. And that I don't think anybody saw last year. They just stopped paying. Is this an ideal budget? Heavens no. I mean, passing the budget, what we're going to be doing next Monday, that's going to be the easy part of it. Trying to work our way through what we've got here is going to be, it's going to be a difficult year, there's no question. I mean, this has been a difficult year. I think what we've got on the upcoming basis, we're just going to have to be very much more watchful of the expenses that we've got. We, as well as any other cities, my guess is the county is faced with the same situation.
Yeah, I think one thing we need to be cognizant of is, first of all, the department heads, Linda, Al, you guys, you did a great job. I mean, this was a lot of hard work, a lot of crunching, and you got through it. And as the year goes on, as you said, most of the department head meetings are gonna be budget oriented. You know, you're gonna be watching the dollars every month and keeping a close eye on it. So I think you just need to have, you know, some faith that the department heads and Al and Linda are gonna do what's right, and they're gonna keep a watchful eye, and if it looks like things are getting worse and they're not getting better, all of these things are in the back of their minds, and they're gonna keep an eye on it.
Well, there's another thought, is Alderman Nemeth said, we have staff, we have department heads, they're here, these are their budgets, these are the projects, these are the things that they put in their budgets to purchase and stuff. So where, and I know Al and Linda will watch, but where does it come down to, well, this department head may still get his car and this one won't? I mean, where are those decisions gonna come into it at this point? So to me, it seems like we reduce that amount that comes out of capital development just in case things don't turn around. And in that way, it's not all on Al and Linda as we go throughout the year, and the department heads. They know that these have been cut, they can't purchase them this year, or the project can't be done. And that way, it's just in the budget. I'm really against transferring another $445,000 out of capital development. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a very bad idea. So I'd like to see it take place now, and then that way everybody knows up front and at the beginning.
As Al said, if you have any comments, recommendations to make cuts, send it to Mr. Hutzig or Linda or both.